Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Ellen and I am the maker behind Sew and Inspire. I really hope you all had a lovely Christmas and New Year if you celebrate. I cannot believe we're in 2023. Like I don't quite know how we got here. But that means it's time to show you everything that I made in 2022. And I didn't think that I made very much this year. With a mixture of doing my GCSEs and having very low motivation a lot of the time, I did not think we would end up with a full reel. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing with you everything that I have made this year. Well, last year now. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, because that would mean the absolute world to me. And I think we better just get on with the video because we've got quite a bit to get through. Okay, I'm going to start off with pyjamas. I haven't made very many pyjamas, but at the very beginning of the year I made my mum and I matching-ish pyjamas, very classic tartan pyjamas. And I did piping around the collar and front edge, and I absolutely loved them so much. These were my mum's. They are so cozy. They're made out of a really lovely brushed cotton, and then the bottoms are just basic wide leg, straight down, comfy bottoms. I was hoping to get these made for Christmas, but I didn't make it. So we made them for the new year. So these were a very early make of 2022. This isn't really in any particular order. I've just tried to like categorize the items of clothing because I couldn't really think how else to do it, because I cannot remember what order I made these in. I really tried in 2022 to make myself basics for my wardrobe that will last forever and will just like go with everything. So you will see quite a lot of those in this video. The first is this just really basic cropped t-shirt. This fabric is really lovely. It's from the new Craft House. I will try and mention as many patterns as possible and link them down below as well, but if I can't remember all of them, I apologise. The pattern which I used to make most of my like tighter fitting t-shirts is by Kiana Bonolo Designs on Etsy, and I used the turtleneck and mock neck top and then just made it into short sleeves, which is not very difficult. You just like cut the sleeves at the point you want. I didn't realise this, but this pattern is really not very size inclusive, so hence why I haven't really like spoken about it much, but it fits me really well, and that is a massive thing because I have extremely broad shoulders, so I really struggle with getting t-shirts and tight fitting tops to fit me across the shoulders and not like ride up weirdly, and this one doesn't. So this one does fit me really well, but as I said, it's not very size inclusive, which is a bit disappointing. Carrying on with the basics and also using that pattern, I made this plain white ribbed long sleeve top, which I have gotten a lot of wear out of, and I made this burgundy ribbed long sleeve top as well, and I made this one for my mum. And on this one I did a mock neck, and then on this one I just did a basic round neck, but I just find them so useful, like really great layering pieces. Next is this one. I absolutely love this fabric. Just look how beautiful that is. It's like, I don't really know how to describe it, but it's just really soft and lovely. And I made this kind of, I don't know how you describe this. I want to say polo neck, but I don't think that's the right word. But I basically did this little like placket situation. I basically based this off a jumper I already had. I'll put it on screen, but I used, I think it's McCall's sweatshirt pattern, which I use as a base for a lot of my sweatshirts, and then hacked the neckline to create this. Next up are some sweatshirts, my beloved sweatshirts. I made loads of plain basic sweatshirts in 2021, which you would see in that video if you watched that. This year I made this blue cropped sweatshirt for myself. I managed to squeeze this out of a remnant which I found in my local fabric shop, and this fabric is so like soft and lovely, and I really love that this is kind of washed out and kind of marled. And then I made this very bright and fun one for my mum. As you can see, this is just like an explosion of colour. I think this is absolutely beautiful sweatshirt fabric, and it is really, really soft and lovely. I also made some more basic t-shirts. I made this bright pink one for my mum, which I used that same pattern which I mentioned earlier for this one, and did a mock neck. And I made this for her for Mother's Day, and bought her a like really lovely olive green scarf which had this exact pink in the scarf as well, and they go absolutely beautifully together. And this fabric is the same as the grey one from the new craft house, which is just like really good quality. And then I made two basic oversized t-shirts. I made just a plain white t-shirt because I was really missing this in my wardrobe. There's not really much to say about that. I use the oversized t-shirt pattern in one of a really old Sewing Bee book, which is actually a men's pattern, but you know, for an oversized t-shirt I don't really see how it matters. And then I also made this really lovely sage green one. This is like the slinkiest, softest jersey ever. As you can see, it does hold a crinkle quite well, unfortunately, but it is really lovely and soft to wear. I think I made this one in a large and this one in a small, and I prefer the fit of the small because the large is a little bit too oversized, I found, but it fits my mum perfectly, so we share that one. And then the final like jersey t-shirt I made was this one for my mum. This one I tried something a bit different, and I did a raglan. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I will link the pattern down below. It was a free pattern as well, which is amazing, and I did the long sleeve version, and it has really lovely detail on the hem where it kind of curves. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it just like is really flattering on. And the raglan was just, I don't know, I wanted to make a t-shirt out of this, but I wanted to do something a little bit different, and this is just perfect, and it's a really lovely fit as well. I love the colours of this leopard print so much. Okay, moving on to tops. Tops are one of my favourite things to make and wear. I have made quite a few of these this year. You may recognise this pattern because it is very heavily inspired by the sagebrush top by the Friday Pattern Company. I absolutely love that design so much, and I really wanted to make one, and I had a pattern which was literally the top but without the ruffle, so I just added the ruffle because I didn't really see the point in paying for a whole other pattern just to add a ruffle when I could do that myself. But I'm taking absolutely no credit, this is not something of mine, this is very heavily inspired by their design. This fabric I also absolutely love. It's got these like raised dots on it, and it's just like this really pretty ditzy floral. My mum absolutely loves this top and wears it all the time. Got a beautiful ruffle along the front, and then puffed, not too crazily puffed, but puffed sleeves, and then goes into a gathered cuff, and then I bound the cuff and I bound around the neckline, and then did a cute little tie at the back. It's just such a basic top with a little bit of something, and I just absolutely love this pattern. so much that I made 2 more. Oh, we've got another one with us. I made a short sleeve version for my mum in this lovely white broderie anglaise. And then I made myself a black one in this broderie anglaise, which I love a lot. And I made, as you can see, I made mine quite cropped. It kind of sits just on the waistband of my jeans because I was squeezing it out of a remnant. You'll see a theme here. But I love this top and I can't wait to wear it because I made it like just as we were going into winter, so I haven't really had the chance to wear it yet. Next top, blouse, whatever you want to call it, is this one, which I made for my mum. I absolutely love this fabric. It's a really lovely viscose, which I got from Pins and Needles. This pattern was a pattern which I got with Prima magazine. I absolutely love this pattern. I have made and modified this pattern so many times. I just absolutely love this neck detail with this little kind of raised collar, and then it has puffed sleeves with a little cuff to bring it back in at the bottom, and then it has a really flattering high-low hem which just looks really lovely on my mum. Next up we have a top for myself, and I don't wear this very often because I made a mistake. Basically this is the Wilder gown, but the top version of the Wilder gown, which I absolutely love that pattern. I have made myself and my mum a Wilder gown dress. I don't wear mine because I need to shorten it and I haven't got around to it yet. But my mum wears hers all the time and loves it. I love the pattern, nothing wrong with the pattern, but I tried to modify the pattern to make this ruffle at the top smaller, and I went about it the complete wrong way, and I know what I would do to do it correctly if I were to do it again. But basically I shortened the top, which I shouldn't have done, because now it's not, it like pulls a bit and sits a bit funny because it's not long enough. I absolutely love this fabric though. It's like a raspberry pink, and then it's this raised cotton dots again, which I am obsessed. If I see a fabric which has like these raised little dots, I just love it. I don't know what it is, I just think it's so beautiful, but I don't really know what I'm going to do about this. Like, I have worn it, but every time I put it on I'm just like, so we'll see. And I have put elastic in the cuffs of my Wilder gowns just because I prefer that look. Next we have this little statement piece. This is just an oversized shirt which I made for myself, and out of this, I don't even know what you call this fabric, and you can literally hear it from a mile away, which I do not enjoy. But I made this purely for the process of making a shirt. I don't know why, I was just craving to make a shirt and like going through that process. Don't ask me why. So I did, and I think the sewing on this is beautiful, if I do say so myself. And I did like proper plackets and everything. Look at that. I've never done plackets before, so I really wanted to do it. I just wanted to make a shirt nice and properly. And if this fabric didn't make this stupid noise, then I would 100% wear this like with a little crop top underneath in the summer. But the noise, you can literally hear me coming. But I love it. I loved making it, which I think is really important. I think you love a piece that much more if you absolutely love making it as well. This is the final blouse top that I made this year, and this is the honey blouse or top from Fibre Mood. I absolutely love this, and I absolutely love this fabric as well. This is a double gauze with these beautiful embroidered flowers on. I have a bit of a thing for double gauze. I just absolutely love the fabric. I find it so comfortable. I love sewing with it. I just love it. As you can see, it has this beautiful statement ruffle collar. This is also for my mum, by the way. And then it has these lovely little ties at the sleeves, which I absolutely love. I really do want to make another one of these because I kind of want one for myself. This did end up quite cropped, which could have been my fault, but I think the pattern was quite cropped anyway, which my mum doesn't love, but if she just wears a little vest underneath it, then it's absolutely fine. Also, I don't know if I did something wrong, because the pattern, this is not how the placket is done in the pattern, by the way, or how the hem is done, because I didn't have enough fabric. I did have to end up buying some more because I didn't have enough of the collar, but it all started going wrong because I printed out the PDF wrong. Oh gosh. Anyway, we learned a lot from this. Next up we have this, which I made very early on in 2022, and this is like a cardigan. Yeah, I'd call it a cardigan. I used the kimono pattern from one of the sewing bee books, and I don't know why, because it is not the correct fit, and it really annoys me every time my mum wears it. But it still like fits and is fine, but it's just, it annoys me. Anyway, I didn't think about that at the time, but I do really like the style of this. I did this massive ribbing at the bottom because this was a remnant and I didn't have very much, but I managed to squeeze this out of it, and I do really love the end result, and I love this fabric as well. And I really love how I've done the button placket on this. I just think I finished it really nicely. Okay, next we have my one and only pair of trousers which I made this year. As you can see, I don't really make trousers very often, and that is something which I definitely want to make more of in 2023, and it's because I can never get them to fit very well, but I've learned so much this year from some amazing people, and developed my skills, so now I kind of know a lot more, obviously, about fit and things. But anyway, I made myself a pair of Dawn jeans, which was quite recent, so you have probably already seen these, but I did black Dawn jeans with this beige contrast stitching, and I have worn these so much since I finished them. These were exactly what I was missing in my wardrobe. They fit me so well, Dawn jeans do. I made my first pair and they fit really lovely, so that's why I knew I wanted to make the exact same pattern again. And with these I did zebra pocket lining, which I love, that little thing that you know is there but no one else does. And yeah, I love them, and these are made out of a stretch denim. The only thing I don't love about this denim is, as you can see, it kind of looks a bit shiny, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm hoping with wear and wash it'll kind of dull that down a bit. But I just love these, and then I roll them up at the cuffs just because that's how I like wearing my jeans. Okay, now we've got two jumpsuits. First one is this one, which I made for my mum earlier on in the year, out of this really lovely kind of thick blue corduroy. This is a pattern which I've made before, and it's out of the Sewing Bee book. I do make quite a lot from those Sewing Bee books because I absolutely love them, because you get so many patterns in there, and I kind of take things from them, mix and match, and kind of adapt, and I love them so much. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this. It has pockets on the front and then buttons all the way down, and then a really nice tie at the waist, and then you have the option of folding up the sleeves, and then, what do I call this? A tab, which you can, you know, button, and then it holds it. You get what I mean. Oh my goodness, I think this is honestly one of my favourite makes of the year. Every time my mum puts it on, it just makes me smile because I just love this fabric, and I think the design just suits it so well. This again I based off of that pattern, but I did quite a few modifications. As you can see, I added a zip down the front, which I love so much, and then I added this little channel and a waist tie, which I think just looks really, really nice. And it has puff sleeves, and I made them full length and put elastic in the bottom. And yeah, this is just like the perfect summer jumpsuit, and she looks beautiful in it, and I really love this one a lot, and I wish I had one for myself. So 2023. Okay, now I've got a few skirts. I am not a skirt person really, but I really wanted a kind of slip skirt because I'd seen them a lot on Instagram and things, but I was like, I just don't know if it suits me. But I had some fabric left over from my wilder gown, and I didn't know what to do with it, and I was like, you know what, that is like the perfect fabric. So I made myself this skirt, and it has a slit down the front, which I love that detail a lot. I do wish I had done it differently though, but it's fine. For this, I used the wrap skirt pattern from one of the Sewing Bee books and adapted it to be this. And then there's an invisible zip down the side, and I absolutely love wearing this with an oversized jumper and boots or trainers, and I feel really good in it, which I don't normally feel in a skirt. So yeah, I love this, and it pushed me out of my comfort zone, and it's kind of, it cuts just in the middle of my calf, which is not sorry, where I was going with that is because it's not normally a length that I'm very comfortable with, but I love it a lot. And then I also made my mum a skirt this year. This was quite recent make actually. I made her just a really simple skirt, and then it has a ruffle on the bottom, which I love that little detail so much, and it's maxi length, and it has elastic waistband. This was originally not going to have elastic waistband, and then things went a bit wrong, and then we managed to rectify them, and we've ended up with this, and she loves it and she wears it a lot, and I just absolutely love this fabric. Love the colours in it so much. It's a really lovely viscose. Wow, this is quite the task, let me tell you. Okay, now we're going to move on to dresses, but I think we have to start off dresses with talking about this, which has been sitting here in the corner waiting for its moment. So this year, as I mentioned, I did my GCSEs, so I finished school, and that means I also had prom. Due to my mental health, I didn't actually attend prom for more than like 10 minutes, but I did go, and I wasn't sure if I was going to go at all, but I did make it, and no matter if I went or not, I knew I was going to make myself a prom dress because it's been a dream of mine ever since I was little, and this year it came true, and this is what we ended up with. I love it more than anything, and I'm so proud of it. It is actually like really quite simple, but I love it a lot. So as you can see, it has spaghetti straps and then like a V-neck, and then I sewed on these beautiful flowers, which I love so much, and then it goes into a big full length circle skirt, which is a nightmare because it's too long for the mannequin and it gets caught up in its legs. And then I did a crisscross tie back. Sorry, it's not looking its prettiest right now because it doesn't fit the mannequin as well as it fits me. And then it has a invisible zip at the back here. And if you want to see more in depth about this dress and the making process, I did a whole video on making my prom dress, which I will also link. But yeah, this definitely has to be up there with one of my favourite makes of the year. Okay, if we're talking about like the most worn make of the year, I think it would have to be this one for my mum. She wore this so much in the summer because it's just such an easy throw on and looks great dress. This is the zero waist gathered dress. Can't remember who it's by, but it's basically a zero waist pattern. So this dress, believe it or not, is literally made out of rectangles, and then there's a thing that you do to get this shape on the neckline. It has 3 buttons down the middle, and then goes into 2 huge gathered tiers. So yeah, love this. Oh, and this fabric, I don't know what this is. It's like a crinkle cotton viscose situation, but I love it so much and I love the colour a lot as well. If you watched my Vlogmas, you will have heard about this dress because this is the dress which I made my mum for her work Christmas party. So this is also a very recent make, but I never ended up showing the dress. But this is it. I love it so much, and I want one of these for myself as more of like an everyday dress. But this is that same pattern from that Prima magazine which I made this top in, but I have not done the raised collar. I've done a little ruffled collar and then added a little tie. I love this neckline so much, and I've been wanting to do a neckline like this for ages, and then I finally did it. And then it obviously has puff sleeves and then gathers in. This is, as you can see, I love this shape of sleeve where it gathers in to a little cuff or binding, and then it just has a gathered skirt. This fabric I love because, okay, it's not really coming across on the camera, but in real life, in some lights it just looks purple and simple, but then you catch the light and it's like sparkly. I just love it. And then obviously I've lined it with a black satin because this fabric is shit. I also absolutely love this dress, which I made for my mum. This is a free pattern actually. I can't remember the exact name of it. Again, I will link it down below. I think it's from So magazine, but you can get this one online. It is this maxi dress with buttons all the way down the front, which I love so much, and then it has this really lovely detail of a sheared waist. I've never actually made any clothing with shearing in before, and then I also did a couple of rows of shearing on the sleeves to create these really lovely puff sleeves, and then they have a little like ruffle at the end. Yeah, this is just a really lovely throw on, easy to wear summer dress, and this fabric is like, I'd say this is probably a cotton, but I really love the print of this fabric a lot. Next up we have what seems like the famous M7974. Is that the right thing? I literally just said that. I don't even know if that's the right one, but it's the one that everyone and their wife made, like, I think it was 2021, but I only got around to making it in 2022. For a while Minerva had it as a free download as well, so that is how I got mine. And yeah, I made this also for my mum out of this really lovely viscose, which I just love. And what I did was I just sewed down the crisscross so that it wouldn't like gape my mum has quite a full bust, so I was kind of worried about this neckline, but I just sewed that down so you still have that lovely detail, but it then just acts as a v-neck. And then this has like a really interesting construction. It's like a raglan, but then it's all attached to binding, which I love. And then it just goes into this gathered skirt and then has a ruffle on the bottom, which I absolutely love that detail as well. And then it has, again, sleeves which just go into a little cuff. Next up we have this one, which if you watched, I mean you probably don't remember, but last year I made my mum this exact dress in another paisley, but it was more of like a blue and green paisley fabric, and then we saw this one and she absolutely loved this fabric, so I was like, do you want me to make you the same dress? In this one she was like, yes please. But this one I did make full length, so it has 3 tiers instead of 2. This is also a pattern from the Sewing Bee book. I really love this pattern and it's really like flattering on my mum as well. It kind of has this big waistband bit and then the cups are gathered into it, and then it has puff short sleeves as well. Okay, this is the final dress which I made for my mum this year, and this I made also as an evening dress for her, although it doesn't fit very well. So I really hope that I can adjust it and make it fit. I think I should be able to, but this is Simplicity 9476. I really loved the detail of the waistband. It's a bit difficult to tell when it's not on, and because this fabric is so like silky, it doesn't hold it very well. But I really love this kind of ruche detail of the waistband, and then it has princess seams and then these really lovely kind of floaty sleeves, and then just goes into the skirt. This fabric is beautiful. This is 100% silk. I've never worked with such a lovely fabric in my life, and that is why I want to see if I can make it fit and get it right, because honestly I just love this so much and I think it's so beautiful. And I did end up making this in a little bit of a rush for her event, because it was, I think it was like right at the end of my GCSEs or something. I can't quite remember, but we made it and it does fit fine. It's just a bit gapey, and because I think I made a size too big, but I was really scared of it being too small. But anyway, hopefully we can adjust it and it will be fine. But I do love this one if it fitted perfectly. You'll be pleased to hear we are nearly there. Next up we've got just a few dresses for me. I know, I don't think, last year we probably had like 2 dresses for me. This year I've really found my style of dresses, which I love, and so I've made myself some which I feel really good in, which is not very usual for me in a dress. So the first one is this one. This is again that Prima pattern, but I hacked it to have a round neck, and I've done puff sleeves with elastic at the bottom, and then just a really basic gathered skirt, and then zip in the back. And I absolutely love this fabric. I don't know if you can like, it's kind of like sheared, and I don't know what this fabric is, but I really love it. So yeah, this is my style. Super basic, simple dresses and like oversized dresses. I just feel most myself in and most comfortable in. So yeah, there will definitely be more of these made this year. The next one is that same pattern again, but I've adapted this one to have binding around here and then go into a little tie at the front, and then it also has little ties on the sleeves as well, like the honey blouse, and then the rest is exactly the same. And this is made out of this lovely dusky pink double gauze. When I saw this, I just had to have it because it's my two favourite things, double gauze and pink, so it had to be. Then we have the same pattern but the original pattern with the original collar in this really lovely navy blue double gauze. These are like the colours that I feel most comfortable in, pink and navy. Okay, then the final dress for myself was this one. This is a bit different for me, but I really wanted a little dress like this. It has princess seams all the way down, and then it's quite like basic, like square neck, and then it just is straight at the back, and it has little spaghetti straps and then a zip down the side. The pattern that I used for this, I am not going to recommend. I got it off of Etsy, and I don't know if I did something wrong or what, but the back like went down to like here, I think, and so like the straps were like crazy long. Like the fit of it was just so odd, but we figured it out and we made it work. I just had to like shift the back pieces up. I think that's what I did anyway. It was quite a long time ago now. I made this in the summer, but I also really loved wearing this with like a cropped sweatshirt on top as well, and it's in this lovely viscose navy blue with white little white dots, which I got in the remnant sale from New Craft House. If you are still here, then thank you. We have got 3 more pieces to go. Next up we have the one and only coat of the year. I wanted to work with a boucle coat fabric for ages, and we finally did it in this beautiful, it's grey but I feel like it's a beige, it has beige in it, it has browns in it, do you know what I mean? This took a turn. So this isn't a pattern because I based it off of one pattern, but it just wasn't working in this fabric, and then I saw this coat and knew exactly what I wanted to do with it, so we made it into that basically. So it's not quite right because I didn't like start making this with that intention, but it turned out fine and I absolutely love this, and it's really like snuggly and warm. The only thing I don't love is the sleeves because I did it from that other pattern and I would have just done like straight down, and then it has these big buttons on it as well, which I don't love, to be honest. I might change them. And then for the front I ended up doing a facing all the way around, so to get this kind of collar situation, which I really wanted, and I hand stitched this facing down all the way around. If that's not dedication, I don't know what is. And then I had quite a lot of that fabric left, so I made a gilet for my mum, which she wears a lot actually, and it's really cozy. And I did like little patch pockets on the front, and then I did kind of a facing all the way round the front, so it's kind of like that, and on the sleeves as well. And then the final make that I have to show you is this coatigan, I'm going to call it, because it's not cardigan, it's not a coat. This was again a pattern from a Prima magazine, and I feel like the front looks a bit strange because these front pieces are cut in this shape, which has obviously made it this shape, which I guess would be fine if you wore it as like with buttons, but I've made this more as like an over thing, So but anyway, it looks fine on. I made this one for my mum as well. I find this an odd fabric because I feel like, I think it's because I don't think you would find a piece of clothing in a shop made out of this fabric. Do you know what I mean? If you're also a sewer, you probably know what I mean by this fabric. But, so let me know what you think about this fabric. I think this was also a remnant, so I didn't quite have enough. So there are like little joins in this front facing, but you know, it's unique. That is everything which I made in 2022. So I don't think we did too badly. I hope I haven't forgotten anything, but I don't think I have. If you've made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. I really hope you have enjoyed seeing what I have made this year. If you want to see what I'm making more throughout the year, then make sure to follow me on Instagram, because it's kind of where I share these things as I'm making them. I am wishing you all the best for 2023, and I have a lot of exciting hopes for this year, and I hope that it will be better than last year for me. This year I want to really focus on Sew and Inspire and creating a like community and a place which I love a lot. Anyway, I am going to let you go on with the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon for a brand new video. Bye!